You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from 2 and everything in between. Now, what does this question say? Have you ever introduced a podcast? Yes, I guess I have. And I just did it again. Tick. Oh, sorry, listeners. I'm still Tiernan. And I'm just doing one of those questionnaires that you get in magazines. Have you ever done one of those? You know, you have to tick all the things that you've done and then it adds all up at the end and it tells you something about yourself. And this one has quite a lot of questions and some of them I'm not really sure anyone has done. Here, let me read some to you. Have you ever put a broccoli on your head and yelled, "What's up, my tortoise?" No, I haven't. Not even once, not even just now. Linda, have I ever done that, Linda? Ugh, no help at all. Okay, what's next? Have you ever been told to lay the table for dinner and instead you've just eaten the table and burped and then run away? Well, I suppose I've thought about it, but I haven't actually done it. Do you see what I mean, listeners? These questions are very strange. Have you ever taken an octopus to a museum? Nope. Have you ever seen a worm that's a grandad? I don't think so, it's very hard to tell. Have you ever fallen into a bowl of custard and it's turned out it was a space and time wormhole and you had to live in ancient Rome covered in custard and everyone there thought you were weird? Yeah, I definitely haven't done that. Have you ever called a goat Mavis? Have you ever balanced a wheelbarrow on your moustache while talking to the King of Switzerland? Have you ever added up all the numbers in the world, then subtracted them again and then got bitten by an angry carrot? Have you ever seen a wild kazoo in its natural habitat? Have you ever heard of Jeremy Trousers? Have you ever danced with a thermos flask full of berry smoothie by the pale moonlight? Have you ever had 12 loofahs? Have you coughed and your bum fell off? Well, nope, no, nobody, nope, no, maybe, but I don't think so. No way, not at all, nearly, but overall, no. Oh, hang on, I can tick this one though. Have you ever checked the mailbag right now? No, but I can. Ha ha! Oh, this is from Doggy Lover Woof in New Zealand, who must love dogs because they've learned dog language and put it at the end of their name. That's a real sign, that is. And I do hope I've pronounced that woof correctly. Otherwise, I may have upset any dog listeners that are out there. So very sorry about that. Anyway, they put a lovely review on Apple Podcasts that just says, "Hi, Tiernan, I love your podcast." Well, thank you lots, Doggy Lover Woof, for such a nice review, and 10 extra stinky hippos to you for spelling my name right, and also because I have so many stinky hippos to get rid of. It will take a little while to send them to New Zealand, and I can't imagine what they'll smell like after being in a parcel for that long, but I guess you'll just have to deal with it. Thanks for the lovely review. Oh, and the next question is, have you ever read an email from a listener that could be completely bananas, or could be the lyrics to a great song? No, I haven't, but, this message is from Casimir, who emailed in saying, "Hey, I'm a goofy skip buddy. How is poop? Goofy stupid, you do labbit dooba dooba, liberty doo David lava girl. Scary Scooby-Doo Scooby body, you're goofy, you are a H-age, you are so weird, you are awesome, you're a goofy all, and you are very good." Wow, thanks, Casimir. That was great. Thanks for emailing that in. That's very important. But the big question is, could that also be a song? Let me try.
Hey, I'm a goofy skip buddy, how is poop? Goofy stupid, you do labbit dooba dooba, liberty doo, David lava girl, scary Scooby-Doo, Scooby body, you are goofy, you are AHH, you are so weird, you are awesome, you're a goofy all, and you are very good.
Wow, tick and tick. Great, that's 2 completed. What's the next one? Have you ever told the listeners all the details on how to send in questions to your show? Yeah, do you know what? I think I have. Probably too often, but just in case. So, if you have a question that you need answering, or you just want to send in anything else at all, you can get your nearest booblehead cumberworlds, sorry, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can review the show on Apple Podcasts or many other places, or you can message on the Spotify Q&A for each episode. Don't forget also to check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live Comedy Club for Kids shows, and do check out the other podcast I do too, called Bust or Trust, a Kids Mystery Podcast. Great, sick. And what's next? Have you ever met a horse named Gerald? Nope. Have you ever jumped over a volcano that had hay fever? Not even once. Have you ever introduced the most importantest bit? Oh, here's the most importantest bit. Tick.
You have a pet? You have a sweet tooth? You believe in the power of a curse?
Here with me at Radio Nonsense today is the brilliant Tom Bell, aka Tom, whose best friend is an automaton called John, aka Tobal's the Most Nobles, official bard for all the Nobel Prize winners, or as all of our whale listeners know you, but Tom, you are very well known for creating a single basket to carry all your eggs in just to annoy old wives, for your incredible charity work to make transport more accessible for ghosts so all trains can be ghost trains, and of course, most famously, for the time you successfully raced across the world by roller coaster, which took approximately 17 years and made you sick over 400 times. Thanks so much for coming on the show. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've just finished the schematics for the latest ghost train.
Wow.
Yeah, we're trying to get across, which obviously the Channel Tunnel goes to France. We're going to go the other way, just go up in the air and see where that takes us. One of the great things about it's sort of a tunnel.
Vertical train. Sorry. Right.
Yeah, vertical train.
Right.
And then, well, there's a big debate in the minute. Should we go into the air or should we go into the ground? And it's really dividing the ghost community. And I don't know how many ghost listeners you've got. We're going up for now, just because this, I think we saw the Northern Lights recently, and everybody thought it was so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought, let's get up there. And obviously, underground, you don't know. There could be dinosaurs, might not be safe.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? But I suppose, you see, I'm not entirely sure how many ghost listeners we have. I think it's hard to tell because they find it quite difficult putting headphones on. And no one's really made any ghost headphones yet, which makes it quite tricky. You do get
No, it's
ghost
tricky because a lot of
radios,
ghosts are from the past, and obviously there were no headphones then.
Exactly. That was the problem, because if they turn into a ghost when there weren't headphones or when there weren't radios or MP3 players, well, so it's very tricky. But I know
it's one of the problems we have with the ghost train as well is some ghosts are scared of the train because they don't quite know what it is.
Yes, it must look like a sort of giant mechanical worm.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very scary.
Yeah.
I wondered, you said about worries about going underground. I'd have thought sort of because there are skeletons under there and things, I'd have thought ghosts would be really cool with that.
I know what you mean. Maybe it's just a lot of them already get to live underground, and so nobody needs a train that just goes to their house.
Yes.
Well, actually, I say that would be quite handy, wouldn't it?
Yes, because then if they sort of spook somewhere else, they need to get home after a haunting or a spooking. I don't know what the kids.
We did initially try to just do a Channel Tunnel as well, but France complained and said they've already got too many ghosts. There's a real ghost problem over there.
They've got a lot of ghosts in France, actually.
They do.
Yeah, there's just, I don't know, Paris is just full of ghosts. They've got very artistic ghosts in Paris.
Yeah, they do. If you remember the big wigs they used to wear around there too, so the ghosts take up quite a lot of space.
Yes, that is the problem. Very flamboyant costumes.
Really flamboyant ghosts.
Yes, I can see that being quite a problem. And I wonder, maybe you should sort of talk about a train that goes maybe from France to here, so they can send some of their ghosts elsewhere.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. I'm going to write that down.
Would they be? I don't know how that works. I don't know if people would find French ghosts scary in the UK or just sort of rather delightful.
Yeah, it's tricky. A lot of ghosts, they can be poor travellers. They like what they like. They like. They can be a little bit conservative. They like things to stay the way they are. And that's why they get a bit annoyed sometimes when somebody, builds something new to a house somewhere, and they make a kerfuffle, don't they? And they
of course.
rattle some chains. So it can be quite like that. And the trouble is, France and England famously used to be at war, didn't we? A long time ago now, but
They did, yes.
so the danger, I suppose, there is if ghosts turn up and think we're still at war and try to take over.
Yeah, that
Trafalgar
could be quite
Square.
a problem, actually. Yeah,
That could be a problem.
that could be. I mean, it'd be a really big problem if
It's a big
Trafalgar
problem.
Square was full of angry, warring
French
French ghosts. Yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
I think that's one of the problems. There's been some risk assessment management on that, and they've gone, oh. Because if you've ever been in the channel, the English Channel, late at night, there's a lot of
Yes.
You'll know the ghosts still, the French and English ghosts sort of swim out and have a bicker.
yes. It's funny you say that. I have often just gone for a bit of a swim in the English Channel.
Yeah,
Normally,
exactly.
sort of about
Yeah,
midnight, 1 a.m, when it's really fresh and nice and
perfect time to do it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, and it is one of the things I've noticed. I sort of think, wow, you're doing this here and now. You know, why aren't you enjoying the freezing cold waters and the fish that look all a bit
Refreshing
sick?
waters. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
As
well,
I-
listen.
that's it. I suppose I was going to ask you, talking about going up to the Northern Lights. Did you know? I don't want to assume or even sort of put words into your mouth here, but the Northern Lights do look quite like a big ghost in the sky. Is that?
Oh,
part of it?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so, well, and for a long time, people did think, it was ghosts or it was something like this. It is, isn't it? It's ghosts, but isn't it ghosts that live on the sun or something? And so the ghosts on the sun
Right.
are quite big.
Right.
And if they get too big, they sort of they float away from the sun for a bit, and that's where we can see them. I
Wow.
think. I'm no scientist, not anymore.
Right. Yeah, but
I got kicked out of that after my ghost.
Well,
after
I was
my
gonna ask,
Northern Lights
because-
are just ghosts from the sun theory.
But you do still demand people call you Professor Tom, don't you? You do still keep that
I
bit.
prefer it. Yeah, I do prefer it.
Do you think it helps?
I think it helps. I think I just look. I worked very hard at Ghost University. I was one
Right.
of the very few non-ghosts
Mm.
there. Had to really work much harder.
Yes.
And okay, I didn't pass in the end, but I feel like I got close.
Yeah.
And we're hoping this tunnel. Well, if you call a tunnel into the air a tunnel, it must be. We're hoping that maybe, all being one, if it is ghosts, if the Northern Lights is ghosts, they can come and visit more easily.
Wow. That's a lovely. Look, I wish you all the best of luck with that. I think
Thanks
that's
very much.
that's fantastic. And you raise a good point. I don't really know when a tunnel is a tunnel and when a tunnel is. What else would it be? A tube?
Nobody
a
knows.
A kazoo? Or what
You
does it?
can't-
When does it become something else?
It's tricky, isn't it, with labeling things like that? I mean, is a toilet roll a tunnel? Depends.
mean-
For a mouse, it could be.
Yeah, a gerbil, a mouse. They could.
So
That's
everything is
quite a
sort
big
of-
tunnel.
Yeah.
A hula hoop. And
now
for
we're
listeners
talking, yeah.
that aren't in the UK, hula hoops are one of the best crisps in the world. That's all I'll describe them as. But they're like a tunnel for a fly. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm often. I like living in a human house,
Hmm.
but given the option, wouldn't it be great to live in one of those like hamster tunnel mazes? That'd
Yes.
be nice.
Yes, because it looks so fun, doesn't
Doesn't
it?
it look good?
Yeah. Yeah. It is
Probably
odd that they
wouldn't-
haven't made those like human size yet.
Yeah, I guess it would be harder to get all your furniture in there, but if you built you'd make it work.
Yeah. I mean, how do hamsters?
I'm just going to the toilet
do
and
it?
you'd climb up and you'd go round and brilliant fun. How do hamsters
Yeah.
go? Yeah,
Well, like, what do they do about furniture? Because they've got bits and they've got little wheels in there, and they've
they
got
actually do have quite a lot of furniture as animals go, don't they?
Yeah,
It's one of the
little
more
drinking
furniture-heavy
bottle and-
pets.
Yeah. They must
I
have
don't
to
know.
get people in.
Yeah, maybe it's sort of a flat pack. If you'll have seen
Right,
people
right,
build
sure.
these IKEA-y, so they'll get them in, and then the hamsters have to build them. Or maybe they can fit them in their mouths. They've got big mouths, haven't they? So they'll got a little
yes,
sofa
of course, yeah.
in their mouth.
Sort of
Sinking
store a
it
bit
in.
of furniture in each cheek, and then spit it out when they get home and build it up.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah. I was going to say, would you opt for the version that a lot of pets have, where it's kind of see-through, so that everyone outside could see when you go to the toilet and when you go to sleep, or would you go for So something a bit more like a human.
I think
house.
I'd mix and match.
Right.
Because it'd be nice to get the sunshine.
Yes.
But I think, particularly like you say, for the toilet room, they often have them red, don't they? Because the hamsters can't see through the red, so they think maybe there's a colour that we can't see. So maybe every time we look at a wall, we don't realise people can see us. But,
wow. I didn't
know
know that. That's the science. See, this is your science knowledge coming through. I didn't
I
realise.
think that's true, isn't it? Their
No
bedrooms are
idea.
sort of a red, so you can sort of see through, but they don't. It's
So
dark for them.
Hamsters can't see
Oh,
anything.
that could
that's
be
red.
wrong. That could be wrong.
I just sort
But
of
everything
wonder
up until now was true. All the ghost stuff was true, but this could be wrong. I don't want to be wrong here.
I just didn't realize hamsters lived a life where they could never see a tomato, where they could never see an apple, a
I think a lot of
strawberry.
animals are colourblind.
Oh wow!
How we know that, I don't know. How could you possibly work that out?
Do you have to ask them to paint a room, and then when they paint it sort of grey, you go, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you couldn't see."
Maybe it's
jade
maybe
green."
they get them to do those magic eye puzzles. There's some that you can only do if red and green don't look the same. I don't know. I think bulls are colourblind, and so the whole red flag for the bulls is not real.
Oh.
But I could be really being mean here to animals. Who knows? Maybe they've got a whole other range of colours they can see. We don't. Like I said, I'm not actually a professor. I did drop out
Sure.
for the exams.
But it raises some good questions, like if bulls can't see red, why do they get so angry when people wave red things? Is it because they're thinking, why are you waving things I can't see?
Yeah,
This is
they
silly.
think we're showing off
Right.
the colour. They're like, we know we can't see that colour. We get it, and they just get
Yeah.
real grumpy.
I do wonder if this is why also you don't really get animals at sort of big IMAX cinemas or anything, and they don't, because it would be a sort of waste of time if they couldn't see all the fancy colours. And
That's true. There's something about flies' vision, isn't it, where they have even better vision. And some people can see better than us. I say people. Flies aren't always people. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think some people can see better than us. Again, I've said people there. But you understand what I mean when I say people.
I know what you mean. And flies are like little buzzy people. Little buzzy
Exactly.
people with extra legs and wings and big
Better
weird
vision.
eyes. And they sick on things, don't they? And they,
They do.
they sick on things. And
They'll sick on things and then use the sick to dissolve it and then eat the dissolved sick. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like
They've
some
got a whole-
people.
Yeah. We're really in the... So we're recording this sort of late May. It's that real period where all the big fat flies have woken up and just cannot find the window out of the house.
Yep. Yeah.
So for all their good vision, it's not helping much, has it?
That's what I was just going to say. You think they could see when a window is open or not? You think, come on, flies, what are you using all your extra vision bits for?
So it's on a pure science term, they're able to get hold of the data. They just don't know what to do with it.
Right.
They can take in the room brilliantly, but that doesn't mean anything to them.
I mean, also they can see brilliantly, but they always land on poo. And
Yeah.
you think the amount of like humans, if we can't see as well as flies, but we're pretty good at dodging stepping in poo as often as you can, you can. Flies are straight away,
Yeah.
they'll just land on a poo. And you think, did you not see that?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, isn't it? They can't get out of a window. They land on poo. These are, yeah, they're wasting their good vision.
Do you think they're too busy watching other stuff? Like maybe
Well,
if they've
that's
got
it.
such
Maybe
good vision,
they
they're-
can see so much that they can just see everything around them. It's just distracting.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could see all the way around you. You would be distracted, I think.
It'd be very
What was
hard.
that?
Actually.
It would be hard, wouldn't it?
That's why they're always buzzing about, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Quite, it's like stressed energy, haven't they? There's, oh, goodness me, there's too much to do.
Yeah.
They could do with getting in a nice little toilet roll,
Yeah.
calming down, little tunnel,
Yeah.
just have a little rest.
Do you think?
But also, they don't live very long, so they've got to really.
Oh yeah.
They can't waste a day. We can have a lovely, lazy Sunday if we want. We'll go, well, I won't do much today. A fly, they're sort of like, well, I better get on with it.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? see
I want
everything.
to write my book.
Yeah. What sort of content? What do you think the flies are going for? The sort of romantic fiction? Do you think they're doing sort of kids' books? Are they doing
Self-help? How not to step on poo?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's
Couldn't
maybe
it?
That's...
Romance, yeah, I know what you mean. I see them as being really into sci-fi
Yes.
for some reason.
Yes.
Mm.
It's the eyes, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Again, it's the eyes. They look like little sci-fi things. But then I
Butterfly
sort
just
of
buzzed
imagine
past me there, in fact.
a sci-fi world where they're flying spaceship, whatever. Like flies in sci-fi would be difficult if they can't work out when a window's open or not.
That's
How
very
would
true.
they
How are they going to
fare
land on
in
the
a
moon?
spaceship? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. I would worry about that. That's all.
You would. There's a reason it wasn't flies in charge of the moon missions, wasn't it?
Do you think that's the main? That was the main problem. Was they sort of thought they were capable in every other way?
Now, also, I wonder how it would work in zero gravity. I mean, for one thing, it would be even harder for them to dodge poos because they'd just be floating around.
Mm.
Can you still fly in zero gravity? I bet you need some of that gravity for them to. I don't know.
Yeah, and you also have the problem if they're called flies. That's pretty much
Yeah.
the one thing that they're known for. If they go into space, they have to be called floats. Like, do they have to change their?
They would have
whole-
to change the name to floats. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's very really ruins their whole identity.
Oh,
That
there's a
causes
lot
them
of
real big...
paperwork involved in that. They've got to change all of it. Not worth it, is it? After a while.
No, I can see why they wouldn't bother really.
Hey, we've really got some science sorted today, so you're welcome, everybody.
Well, thank you. No, thank you. I'm so pleased to have an expert like yourself on the show, and it's this sort of science that we hope you can bring to our listeners, ghost and fly people and whatever that's tuning in. I do have a question actually. It's been sent in that I need someone like yourself to answer. But before I get there, as is the way with this podcast, I've got a couple of admin questions. How do you feel about admin, Tom? Are you happy with admin?
Oh, it's a curse, isn't it? It's
Is it?
Admin. When I think of admin, it's, I've got to fill out a form or tidy up or reply to a letter or something. But is it admin? You gonna make it fun?
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm slightly worried. I've never been cursed with that. I've never had like sort of witch go, "You must do admin," or I didn't know is that something that's
you're lucky.
Right. You've had that, have you?
I was on work experience in a deep dark woods once.
Right.
Yeah, and it was pretty clear early on that this gingerbread house woman was not. She said she was. She said she was, like spiritual healer. It was pretty clear she was trying to lure people into the gingerbread house to turn them into pies.
Right.
And I said, "Look, I was only still at school. I was quite young at the time." And I said, "I don't think we should be doing." And obviously, I was worried I was going to get turned into a pie as well.
Of course, yeah.
So I sort of
not what you signed up for, yeah.
No. So I flagged it with, HR.
Yeah.
And she said, well, because I was doing the admin at the time, and then the witch went, well, I'm going to curse you to do admin for, the rest of your life. And every time you do admin, it'll feel like you're treading on paper clips.
Wow. Oh, that's awful.
They're flat, luckily, so it's not too bad.
Okay. Oh, that's better. I was worried I was going to ask these questions that would feel you'd have to suffer that sensation, but actually that's just sort of
quite tickly more than anything.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Well, I hope this admin. If I try and I'm trying to work out if there's a way I can make it not admin.
My feet are already tickling, but let's see.
Okay, let's see how we go. If it gets bad, then maybe we'll find a way.
I'm sure I'll cope.
Okay, good. Well, there's two questions. It's just two questions.
Okay.
And I would say the second one is much harder, but see how you go. You take your time with both of them.
Okay.
The first question is quite simply, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's not been in a high-level business meeting before, in a big office with all the head honchos in their suits,
yeah,
quite often this is how they'll start.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Right.
Quite often it is. You'll be sat around, everybody will be wearing a suit and a tie, somebody will be drinking a cup of coffee, and a man will often jump through the window or drop through the ceiling or will have been there all along, but under a blanket. The blanket will be removed, and they'll yell. It is a yell. What is this?
Wow.
And the answer, of course, if you've been to business school, like I, you just shout back, a great opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everybody high fives. You get a business cake, and we get on with the day.
That's
A
incredible.
great opportunity.
And is that how every day starts?
I got fired quite quickly from that job.
Right. Why was that?
Oh, I would hide under the blanket as well.
Right. Okay.
And they'd be like, get out, this is my business blanket.
Right.
I was trying to bring some fresh ideas, and everybody shouted a great opportunity. You know, one time they said, what is this? People said a great opportunity, and I said, I shouted out, I don't understand.
Right, sure.
And I was let go. But what is this in well, tell you what, let's put you under a blanket. And again, we can't.
Okay.
This is you're right under that?
Yeah,
Like
it's fine.
this,
It's quite
and
warm.
I'll just see what might.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
very warm,
sorry.
actually. Yeah.
It's quite thick. This is sort of a winter duvet.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you, we'll get, and then I'll see what my response is.
Okay. Cool. Right, let me get under.
Okay.
It's very, very warm. Yeah.
Okay, we're ready. You count yourself in, I guess. So 5, 4, 3,
3,
2.
2, 1.
And then we take. Sorry, that's when we take the blanket. Shall I remove the blanket? Is it tip
So you
bit
remove
heavy?
the blanket. Yeah, and then do I have to say? I have to say it. Do I?
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Like
Sure.
at a
Okay.
business
Yeah. Cool.
meeting. I
Sure,
don't know if
sure,
you've been.
okay.
This was quite some. This was.
I've never been to business school.
Have you not?
No, I once accidentally attended a monkey business meeting.
Oh yeah.
Which was there was a lot of fruit thrown around the place.
Yes. Oh yeah.
One who I assume was the boss was just swinging an attire the entire time. It was very strange. I'd obviously I'd walked into the wrong room or something for my meeting, and I don't want to go through that again. Really.
No, I've only ever heard of the monkey meat. I mean, they sound kind of good fun, but it doesn't sound like a lot gets solved.
No, it doesn't really. I was trying to go to a show business meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're like.
No, I couldn't tell you about those ones either, I'm afraid.
Right, sure.
Closed doors.
Okay. Right, sure.
I know there's a tyre swing.
Right.
The head of the BBC gets to sit in the tyre swing.
Is that right? Is that how it works? Then they all throw fruit and poo around, and
there's a lot of they will throw the
show
ITV
happens,
particularly will throw poo around.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well,
we need to get you out from that blanket though, because you must be
sure. Yeah,
boiling.
I'm absolutely. I feel like my legs are melting. So let's go for this. Okay. So can we do the countdown again?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 5,
4, 3,
2,
1.
1. What is this?
Cake.
Oh.
I thought we were playing. Is it cake?
It might be cake. I haven't actually checked everything.
Worth a check.
No, that's the desk. I've just cut a big hole in the desk.
Okay. Ooh.
That's a wall. I've just cut a big hole in the wall.
You don't have to cut quite as hard as this, I will say.
Okay.
Cutting quite hard.
Sorry.
You're drilling.
Oh.
You don't need to drill a cake.
Yes, right, sorry. I thought that's what I wasn't sure how you tested because it looked like I thought maybe this is a very hard cake.
A fruit cake sometimes you have to drill. But normally I'm thinking sponge.
Okay.
Well done.
This fruit
is that the right sort of answer? I feel like I'm missing.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you've answered it. I was very impressed with the great opportunity. I think again, it's that sort of business insight that our listeners need. And I've also now made considerable holes around my room looking for cake. I did find
Which, again, listen, a great opportunity to start some tunnels.
Oh wow! Wow, you're really good at this. I can't believe you weren't allowed to stay at business school. It's
a real shame. I think if I'd got my foot in the monkey door, I might have stuck around a bit longer because I would throw poo.
They'd love that.
They would have loved that.
It was a really big thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tom. That's
No worries.
we've learned
That's
so
admin
much
question
science.
one.
And, yeah, so much science, so much business. This is fantastic.
No trouble.
Right. So,
Make
question
notes
two.
at home if you want to get into science and or business. This is how you do it.
I think they should absolutely make notes at home, even if they're ghosts. I don't know how ghosts do. They've sort of got to write it on a mirror or something.
Really
haven't
tricky.
they? Or-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's very hard. Yeah. Well, look, listen. Question two. This is much harder. I hope you're going to be okay with this, and do flag up if you've got any problems. But Tom, would you rather everyone you met was sick on you as soon as you met them, or you were sick on them?
Ooh.
It's hard.
Yeah. Maybe it's my generous nature, but I think. Well, presumably they don't know it's going to happen unless I've sent them an email, got somebody to walk before me and said, "Hello, Tom's excited to meet you. Just to let you know, he will puke on you." So I think I'd let people be sick on me, and
That's
and they'll be, and I'm just laugh it off.
Well, I suppose
presumably carry an umbrella, a few umbrellas with me. One of those big rain ponchos.
In either situation, I think people, either you would be prepared over time once you realised it was
I think so.
going to be everybody. And I think if people knew, over time, I think you'd get a reputation of being sick on people. They would also be prepared. So I suppose it's probably more cost effective for just you to buy a waterproof jacket and an umbrella than everyone you meet.
And a bit embarrassing for them, but you sort of go, no, don't worry, this happens quite a lot all the time. Whereas if I was sick on people, and you know what it's like, you go to the shops and you're sick on somebody, they get very grumpy.
They do. They don't like it. Yeah.
They don't like it. And so, I'd rather be able to... People apologising to me is easier to handle, isn't it, than me having to constantly...
That's true. Do you think there would be do you think there's almost a service in it? Because sometimes people feel a bit nauseous and unwell, and if you were around, they could just sort of get it over with and sick on you, and then...
Well, this is the business mind again, isn't it? And this is what this podcast is good at.
Yes,
it's how to monetize these terrible curses. Yes, I can see a world in which, kids' parties, like they have clowns in and stuff, and you could be like, "Here's the amazing sick man. He'll make everybody at the party sick." How much would I charge for that? I don't know. It could be. Yeah, useful in a sort of if there's perhaps in a hospital environment, if someone's eaten some poison.
Yes.
You have to stomach pump people, don't you? Sometimes if they've accidentally ingested some poison, and I could save them all a lot of trouble by just shaking their hands.
That's great. You'd be really handy. I think you'd be really wanted on hospitals. Actually, obviously not in certain wards. Certain wards you could make things worse.
Yeah.
Where patients really need to eat their dinner to regain strength, and then you're there. And
if people are taking paracetamol and then they're, sicking them back up. And there's also other situations you wouldn't want me. Like it's going to be hard for me to travel on a plane.
Yes.
That's a downside.
Yeah, I would say that the one thing
I don't really want either of these.
I'm afraid the question, you do have to choose one. I was going to say that it's just when you meet people, so they wouldn't be constantly sick.
Oh, it wouldn't be constantly.
It would just be when you when you met them.
And then once and done. So let's say it's not, if the postman came every day, it would just be the very first time and then every day.
You already know him now. You don't need to meet him again. So
that's not, do you know what? Lovely.
Great.
And that's quite a good way for me to know if I've met people before, because I can be forgetful.
That's very useful. Yes, that's very useful.
Yeah.
Good choice. Sensible choice. Thank you for
really good superpower, actually.
All the details. Yeah. It could be very good.
I could stop, because if a criminal's trying to steal something and then they are sick, they might slip on their sick and I'll arrest them.
It's good, but then you think about, like, often with superheroes, they have to tackle the same villain again and again, but you would have already met them.
That'd be the only problem.
So you could only really tackle them
I'd have to
once.
really make sure I get it right first time.
Yeah, that's it. Or they'd have to always have, like, a sidekick around or someone around that you hadn't met. You'd have to maybe arrange for someone anonymous to turn up
Yeah.
so you could
Near them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky admin.
It is
that's
tricky.
tricky admin. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Question 3. Well, we'll come.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
made my choice and I'm sticking to it.
it's a great choice. Thank you. I really appreciate you answering those admin questions. That was great. Thank you, Tom. Really useful.
Yeah.
Now listen, this is the big question. This isn't admin. This is just like this is calling in an expert like yourself to answer an important question. And this one has been sent in by Ellis, who has put Ellis in brackets girl. So Ellis girl. I don't know if that's all her name. Her name is Ellis girl. Or even the brackets might be put. I don't know how it works. And she is aged 11. She doesn't say 11 what. It could be years. It could also be months, minutes, decades. We're not in. I don't want to guess. But she hasn't given any more information there, so I don't. It's hard to know. Hard to know.
You're right.
It's very hard to know.
We shouldn't assume.
Based on the question, you might be able to get an idea of her age. Ellis has asked, if a mule is half donkey, half horse, can there be a humkey, which is half person, half monkey?
Well, you've come to the right person here.
I knew it, yeah.
There's the obvious thing to say here is well, look, yes, that would be ideal, because as we've even said, humans and monkeys business meetings are very different, and if we could just find a bit of common ground there, maybe with a humkey in charge. I think people did try it, didn't they, in the 80s to sort of get better at gymnastics.
Yes.
Some people, there was a bit of that. Because obviously, what monkeys are good at, monkeys have different skills to humans. Monkeys are good at climbing.
Yep.
They've got their tails for stealing stuff.
Very good at having tails. Yep.
But humans are very good at riding bikes.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Much better than monkeys.
Yeah,
Humans
I would
make
say
better sandwiches.
Considerably better sandwiches. Yep, that's very.
If you
That's
had a
very
monkey
true.
sandwich, you'll know.
Yes, I
Check.
Yeah.
I would say check thoroughly inside a monkey. If a monkey gives you a sandwich, check thoroughly.
That day I stumbled into the monkey business meeting. I thought, well, I may as well stick around for lunch, and that was a mistake. I never want to make again. It was a platter. It was awful. It was really
dear, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a good idea. I guess is that the best possible human-animal combo? Because in some ways, monkeys and humans not that different, which is why it makes sense with the mule. But maybe there's some other.
How are you? Just out of interest, how are you imagining? Because so for example, like a mermaid is the top half a human, the bottom half a fish, which I always think makes a lot of things pretty tricky because you can't really walk around, you can't put shoes on. You can wear a nice hat, but it's sort of, I feel like it's not particularly easy to live like that. Whereas as a half human, half monkey, are you thinking the bottom half's a monkey, the top half's a monkey? Are you thinking it's just generally a hairy human with a tail? How are you thinking it'd be best for that to work out?
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to do it, wouldn't it? Because you could put trousers on and just get by in human business meetings.
Yes,
and then when you need to swing from a tree with your tail, you can. But it could be half and half sideways, couldn't it? Would that work?
So you're just like half.
It's very rare to see it.
Your left side is monkey and your right side's human.
Yeah.
That's great. That's very useful.
Well, it would. Yeah. The size difference. Look. I didn't finish science school.
but it'd be good when you need to talk to monkeys, you just stand on one side. When you need to talk to humans, you stand with the other side.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
That's quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. Ellis, I don't know if you've patented this yet. If this is, but we could certainly. I think it's worth a try, isn't it? I
think it's pretty good. I mean, you did mention earlier, is this the best combo? What would you what do you think would be a better combo of, or an alternative combo that perhaps?
Well,
would be
people tried horse
investigated?
human, haven't they? With sort of horse donkey. The centaur is sort of horse human, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, for me, kangaroo.
Oh yeah, yes.
Big pouch,
Yeah.
the jumping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like kangaroos have just got a lot of useful little tricks.
They really do. They really do. I mean, again, you come into the issue though. If you say, I assume then you'd have the big kangaroo, the lower legs, and the tail.
I'm
and the
thinking lower
pouch.
legs, tail, pouch.
But
Yeah.
they are really good at boxing. So would you want to miss
Well-
out on the kangaroo punchy hands?
That would be a shame, wouldn't it?
Mm.
But I do think the top half of a kangaroo just on human legs would look very silly.
It would be a bit rubbish. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I guess worth trying.
Yeah, I feel
Worth
like
a try.
someone's got to give it a go.
Worth a try.
And I also don't know how these things would go. Would you sort of would someone have to swap? So like find a person and a kangaroo, and they agree to swap, because then you would end up with one top half kangaroo, bottom half human, and one bottom half kangaroo, top half human. You know, is it just like, yeah, sure, you can have my legs? Is that how it works?
Yeah, well, again, I haven't done all the paperwork on this. I'm
Sure,
guessing it's
sure.
something like that. I'm imagining a swapping booth. Human goes in one end of the booth, kangaroo goes in the other end of the booth, and then we hit the big button,
Yeah,
and then we swap halves.
yeah.
Because the other way to do it would obviously to be get a couple of eggs.
Right.
Like there's a film. I think it's a science film called Jurassic Park, where it shows how they made
Oh yeah,
dinosaurs. So that's like a real thing from
that's
the
a real science film.
real science film. Sorry to go, and it's quite boring to talk about science, but that's how they did that, didn't they? They sort of put DNA into different eggs.
Yes, they did.
So whether you
yeah,
get
which
a
really ruined
human
someone's
egg and a
breakfast,
kangaroo egg
didn't it?
and sort of mix
Yeah.
them together.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the problem is, you're about to have a lovely breakfast, maybe scrambled eggs, fried eggs. Someone puts kangaroo DNA and human DNA, and you're like, well, now I can't eat. That was going to be my breakfast. I was going to have it with smash
Yeah.
browns, and
And then you've got to eat a monkey sandwich, and that's no good.
yeah, that's really.
I'm
I
starting
was-
to think, I don't know if this is a good idea now you're talking.
I was going to ask, what about the other way of doing it, which is that you get them both to lie in a sort of box, and then a magician comes with a saw.
Okay, this is more like it now, I think.
Yeah. And then they sort of saw it in half, and then they, when you open the box, they've got different legs. Because I've seen that happen.
Yeah, that could work. Again, a curse could do it, and
A curse, yeah.
you have to be
Yeah.
careful with curses, but it could work.
Mm.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. Human monkey.
It's a great
mule.
idea.
It's a really good idea. Yes, sign me up.
Wow.
Go for the
this is
kangaroo
like,
one.
Shark Tank or Dragon's Den or whatever. You've already invested.
I'll
have you?
invest.
You've already.
Yeah.
What are you gonna invest into this? What's your bid?
I'll put my sticker book collection in.
Wow, Ellis,
Yeah.
you're onto a winner. This is big.
If
This is
if
big.
it works.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So that's the clause. It has to. They have
I don't want to go to
get
prison
one- Sure.
for creating a
So
giant.
how many times does
monster.
it need to work? Does it need to just once, or are you willing to have one human key?
Yeah.
Or do you need to see 5? Do you need to see an army of humkeys before you're willing to give up your sticker collection?
I'd like to see 5 humkeys.
Wow.
Enough for a band.
Enough. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I mean, there was a band called the Monkeys who were human.
That's a very good point.
Maybe that's the
yeah.
closest we've gotten so far.
And it worked really well.
It went great, didn't
They
it?
were very. I mean, many of our listeners won't know unless they are ghosts
Yeah.
from that particular
Yeah,
time period,
exactly.
perhaps. But they did pretty well being, and nobody questioned at any point. Hang on, you're called the Monkeys, but you're human. Nobody questioned it. They were just like, of course. This is
Nobody questioned it. And nobody checked. They were always wearing trousers, so we can't be sure.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Now, I did
Gosh.
triple check with a good friend of mine who is a genuine doctor of genetics
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in case they had another angle on it. And they said the problem is horses and donkeys share a lot of DNA,
Right.
whereas humans and monkeys, the DNA wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't work.
Oh.
It's like imagining the Lego bricks have to be the same size to stick together.
Sure. Right.
But I haven't pointed out about them banned the monkeys. So if I go back and mention that,
I think that
it
would
might just
change
be a
it.
cover-up.
Yeah. Can I just check as well? This friend of yours, did they actually finish science school? Did they
Yeah,
qualify?
show off.
Yeah. Oh, they did. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
But they went to a human one, not a ghost one. So I don't know how much we can. Trust
I
them.
wouldn't trust that. That sounds suspicious to me.
That sounds
I think
suspicious.
you've always got to check your sources. And you know, I mean, I haven't checked the science on it, but I remember reading a fact about how much DNA we share with a banana. So surely you could get a human,
Right.
humana, a banana.
I think what's happened is I've told my friend Ellis's idea, and they've thought, I'm going to do this myself and
Yeah.
make all the money myself.
Yeah, selfish. I hope you
Typical.
stop them because
Well,
I do.
I will have to now.
Yeah, please do.
I'll have to.
It's a sad end. I
I'll have
say
to put
that's
a big
sad
blanket
ending.
over them. Luckily,
Yeah.
we've got heavy,
Until they,
big heavy blanket.
until they melt.
If you don't mind me, yeah, until they melt. Or
No,
just
you go for it.
apologise.
I'm good because this needs. I was very worried. I think it's been a very useful, a very educational episode of Radio
It
Nonsense.
has.
And I thank you for coming on. But I worry we've basically ended on a note where someone's now stealing Ellis's idea, and now
I won't let that happen.
well, that's good. That's good of you, Tom. That's good of you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much. Have you gone? And again, I appreciate you being on the show. Have you got much coming up in the next 100 years? What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm hoping to obviously in the next 60 years develop gills.
Oh wow, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, for some underwater breathing. It's not that I want to become a fish. I just think that would be quite handy.
Mm.
Fun, different way to get my oxygen.
Yeah.
And I'd love to trick somebody into thinking I'm a tree.
Oh, that's good. That's very
That'd be
good.
fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be great. I hope you get to do that soon. Actually,
Thank you.
I hope that really, especially as we're in the right sort of season for it now,
Yeah.
spring, summer. There are a lot of trees about at this time of year. They sort of all go by winter, but they it's a good time.
That's
Time
the
to
big
trick
hope.
someone. Yeah, good. Well, listen, best of luck. Best of luck in tricking someone and thinking you're a tree, and best of luck.
Can I
with the
just sorry? Can I
gills
just
as well.
check? Did
Yeah.
you? Because obviously we've been in the same room for a while. Was there any point you thought I was a tree?
Well, temporarily, I think the issue was because there was a moment where I saw your
Gonna make
green
some notes
hair.
if that's okay.
I saw your green hair, and I saw you that
Yeah.
you were wearing sort of brown clothing.
Brown clothes, yes.
But I think when you started mentioning about going to ghost school, I sort of immediately thought, well, a tree probably wouldn't have gone
I
to
see.
ghost school.
So
Yeah,
a
that
tree.
was the bit
So
that gave
the
it away,
feedback
yeah.
would be talk more like a tree.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. That's exactly
Okay,
it.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Is that helpful?
Really helpful.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, I feel you gave so much to show. I'm glad I could give something back. So,
That's great,
Thank you.
actually.
well, thank you very much, and hopefully we will. Well, I say hopefully we'll see. Hopefully we won't see you because you'll be hiding in a park. And
Yeah.
maybe a lot
Listen,
of our
next time you
listeners
walk
will-
through a wood and you're like, was that tree always there?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. You never know. Well, thank you, Tom, and
Thank you.
and best of luck.
Good luck out there.
Well, the plumber your home, that's a good thing for you.
Big thanks to Tom Bell for his important business advice and also for taking time to answer Ellis's important question. Ellis, I do hope you liked your answer, but if not, why not give any complaints that you have to a monkey and it'll probably poo on it and I'll never have to see it. Don't forget that if you have a question that you need to have answered or you want to send in anything else at all, do get your nearest booblehead cumberworlds, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can give the show a review or message on the Spotify Q&A. Check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all our live shows too, and if your grown-ups fancy supporting this podcast, they can sign you up to the advert-free Linda edition at Apple Podcasts, Spotify or patreon.com/comedyclubforkids. Have you ever told the listeners all the way to send in a question for a second time? Yes, I have. Tick! Okay, only a few more to go, listeners. Have you ever frowned at peanut butter? Don't think so. Have you ever successfully swapped a cow for 3 magic beans? No, but I've really tried. Have you ever collected farting animals? Yes, tick. Have you ever closed one eye while balancing on one knee and doing just one sneeze? Well, I suppose I could try. No. Okay, last one. Have you ever lived in a sweet corn? No, definitely not. Right, okay, let me add all those up then. I've only got 8 ticks out of 638 questions. That is rubbish. Well, let me read what it says. 8 ticks. You are not rubbish. This score means you are the person most likely to say goodbye on a podcast. Oh, wow. Amazing. How did it know? Bye!
You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents. Radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense. It's the end.